In the midst of uncertainty, you found clarity, and in finding it, you won not just for yourself, but for those who followed. You won because you refused to settle, demanding more from life, from others, and most importantly, from yourself. Amid the division, you became a bridge, proving that connection is the only way forward. They told you to conform, but you won by standing out, showing that authenticity is the truest form of power. You won because you didn't wait for someone else to act. You became the change you wanted to see. In a world that celebrates quick fixes, you won by dedicating yourself to the hard, slow work of true transformation. When hope felt like a risk, you won by betting on it anyway, proving that the greatest rewards come from the boldest choices. You won because you dared to dream, even when reality seemed determined to turn dreams into nightmares. Amid the noise of opinions, you found your own voice, and in doing so, you won the most important battle of all. They said you were too small to make a difference, but you won by proving that even the smallest voices can echo the loudest truths. When they tried to erase you, you won by leaving a mark so indelible that the world couldn't help but take notice. You won because you didn't let the darkness consume you. Instead, you became the light others desperately needed. In a world that told you to choose sides, you won by finding the common ground that brought people together. Victory wasn't handed to you. You carved it out with determination, grit, and a heart that refused to give up. You won not by overpowering others, but by empowering them, showing that true strength lies in lifting others up. Amid the clamor for power, you chose purpose, and in choosing purpose, you won something far greater. You won because you didn't let the narrative define you. You became the author of a story no one else could tell. In a world where love feels like a weakness, you won by proving that it's the greatest strength of all. You won not because the fight was easy, but because you refused to let the difficulty deter you. Amid the uncertainty of the future, you found a way to thrive in the present, and in doing so, you won a battle few even noticed. They said you couldn't make a difference, but you won by proving that one spark can light a fire that changes everything. You won because when the weight of the world tried to crush you, you used it to strengthen your resolve, proving that even the heaviest burdens can become stepping stones. They wanted you to fit into their mold, but you won by breaking free, showing that true success comes from embracing who you are. You won by choosing kindness in a time of cruelty, proving that the smallest acts of compassion can ripple into great waves of change. Amid the chaos of the world, you found your center, And in doing so, you won not just for yourself, but for everyone looking for stability. They doubted you at every turn, but you won by turning those doubts into fuel for a fire that could not be extinguished. You won because you didn't wait for the perfect moment. You made the imperfect moments count, transforming obstacles into opportunities. When fear whispered that you weren't enough, you won by shouting back that you are more than enough and always will be. In a society addicted to shortcuts, you won by choosing the hard, honest path, showing that true success requires patience and perseverance. They tried to drown you in negativity, but you won by rising above, proving that optimism is a strength, not a weakness. You won because you didn't follow the crowd. Instead, you led with courage and conviction, inspiring others to do the same. Amid the noise of dissent, you became a voice of unity, and in doing so, you won the hearts of those who had lost hope. You won not by avoiding conflict, but by confronting it head on with grace, proving that strength lies in resolve, not aggression. The headlines declared defeat, but you won by rewriting the story, proving that the end is never final unless you give up. You won because you chose growth over comfort, knowing that every challenge you faced was shaping you into someone unshakable. In a world obsessed with winning at all costs, you redefined victory by showing that integrity is the only prize worth having. You won because you didn't let the scars define you. Instead, they became the roadmap to your strength and resilience. Amid the storm of misinformation, you won by seeking the truth, no matter how difficult, and standing firmly in it. When the world told you to settle, you won by dreaming bigger, proving that limits are meant to be broken, not accepted. You won because you didn't just survive the chaos, you transformed it, creating beauty and purpose from the ruins. In a time of shortcuts, you won by choosing the long road, knowing that true greatness takes time to build. You won because you stood your ground when the world seemed determined to silence your voice. In a sea of chaos, your truth became the lighthouse guiding others. Victory isn't always about being the loudest. Sometimes it's about being the calm in the storm, watching as the whirlwind of lies collapses under its own weight. In a world rife with division and despair, you won by holding on to hope and spreading it like wildfire, refusing to let darkness dictate the narrative. Winning doesn't mean the battle ends. It means you've chosen to continue fighting for what's right, even when the odds are stacked against you. Amid debates and distractions, you won by staying true to your principles, proving that integrity is more valuable than fleeting applause. They said it was impossible, but you won by turning impossibilities into stepping stones, defying every limit they placed on you. In a society that rewards superficial victories, you won by finding depth, embracing vulnerability, and showing the world the power of authenticity. You won not because you avoided the storm, but because you walked through it with unwavering faith that the sun would rise again. Amid the noise of propaganda and fear, you won by being the quiet voice of reason that reminded people of the truth they had forgotten. You won when you chose love over hate, even when anger felt easier, proving that strength lies in compassion, not in vengeance. In the ever-changing tides of current events, you won by standing firm, an anchor for those adrift in a sea of confusion. The headlines screamed chaos, but you whispered hope, and in that whisper, you won a battle that many didn't even see. Winning doesn't always look like celebration. Sometimes it looks like surviving, healing, and daring to dream again. When the world sought division, you won by uniting people with a vision of a future brighter than the shadows of the present. They underestimated your strength, but you won by showing that resilience isn't about never falling, it's about always rising. In a time when many chose to follow blindly, you won by daring to question, by seeking the answers no one else dared to find. You won not because you avoided the struggle, but because you embraced it, knowing that diamonds are forged under pressure. Amid the chaos, you became a beacon, a reminder that sometimes winning is simply refusing to be silenced. You won because you turned pain into power, grief into growth, and fear into a flame that lit the way for others. When apathy was the norm, you won by caring deeply, by proving that empathy is the most radical act of resistance. They told you the world was broken, but you won by showing that broken things can still shine, and broken people can still rebuild. You won because you didn't let the weight of the world crush you. Instead, you used it to build the foundation for something new. Victory is often quiet, unnoticed, and slow, but you won by proving that persistence outlasts any storm. Amid misinformation, you won by becoming a voice of clarity, cutting through the noise with unwavering truth. You won because you chose to see beyond today's turmoil, imagining a world where justice and peace are not just dreams but realities. In a world hungry for conflict, you won by feeding compassion, proving that love is the most revolutionary force of all. The odds were stacked against you, but you won by rewriting the rules, refusing to play the game by their standards. When others chose fear, you won by choosing courage, standing tall in the face of uncertainty. You won because you refused to let the past define you, choosing instead to build a future that reflects your deepest hopes. Amid headlines of despair, you became a story of triumph, showing that one person can still make a difference. When it felt like the whole world was shouting, you won by listening, proving that understanding is the first step to change. You won not because you had all the answers, but because you dared to ask the right questions. In a society obsessed with speed, you won by slowing down, reminding everyone that meaningful change takes time. When others chose silence, you won by speaking up, even when your voice trembled, because truth matters. The battle wasn't just external. You won by conquering your own doubts and fears, proving that inner strength is the greatest victory. Amid the chaos of current affairs, you became a quiet revolution, inspiring others with your persistence and faith. They thought the headlines would break you, but you won by writing your own story, one filled with hope and resilience. You won because you didn't let failure define you. Instead, you let it refine you into someone stronger and wiser. When others gave up, you won by holding on, proving that endurance is sometimes the greatest act of defiance.